Very good question. So, for how long can you sustain building the Inleo ecosystem this way? I'm thinking you're building a lot of features out of your own pocket. So, what's the plan?
Sorry, can you repeat the first part of that? It kind of
Yeah,
cut out.
for how long can you sustain building the Inleo ecosystem at this rate?
Um, Several years if nothing else changes. But obviously, being an investor, being that I have other businesses outside of this that bring in revenue, the idea is essentially forever. Um, you know, Obviously I have to manage other things as well, but essentially forever. I'm not really the type of person where I would give up on something before I see it all the way through. So the idea is that maybe when we reach $100 million in market cap or some other kind of major milestone along similar lines, I would say probably around that market cap range. I would want to look to creating a Leo DAO and opening up a lot of the development and ecosystem into kind of more open source, DAO style, management and funding essentially. So Leo, and Leo has never taken on VCs. It's never taken on external investment. I don't think we'll ever need to. I think for pretty much forever, I'll be continually dumping money into payroll, into R&D, getting us. My goal is to push us to that place of being like $100 million market cap, so that then we can launch a DAO and be something a lot bigger than one team building the things that we build. And I've seen Taskmaster and others say that $100 million market cap is like FUD, or it's like it's not a big enough goal. But what it represents to me is a milestone. It is kind of a stepping off point where the Leo ecosystem becomes something bigger than just me and just the team. It becomes a fully functioning DAO. It becomes community run, much like how kind of the early days of Bitcoin was like Satoshi and the core Bitcoin team that were kind of developing the core functionalities and features and running nodes. But as the market cap grew, as the number of nodes grew, as the number of users grew, the core team was able to kind of step away, and the community ultimately created. The community ultimately took Bitcoin from being $1 billion market cap to being $1 trillion market cap, and a bigger thing than any one team could build. So that also kind of answers the question that you were getting at earlier of what's beyond $100 million market cap. For me, that means it's a off point into something much bigger, which is creating a DAO and going from there.
So I think, and so with the into fruition and executing everything, this mean that you would want to step down or step out of ecosystem, or would you still be part of the ecosystem just as a community member, like a regular community member that still develops, that still wants to bring the ecosystem, but as a community member, or would you keep going, and like Satoshi, would you just go on to other things? Like, what would happen there?
I a lot of asked like if this is what I'll be doing forever. And honestly, I do say something that I could do forever, and I think a big reason for that is because Leo is more than just any one definition. If you know what I mean, it's not like similar to how Bitcoin is like, yes, it's digital gold, but then also people are building ordinals and they're building, various other layers of technology on top of Bitcoin. And, you have all sorts of adjacent applications for Bitcoin. It doesn't really fit into any one definition. So, building within this ecosystem and building the actual ecosystem itself is, I don't really see anything past it for me, at least not right now. And I haven't since it all began. It's the only thing I really want to do. Like I said, I've wanted to be, in finance my entire life. And I don't think that there's really any other place. And, you guys can feel free to leave a comment if you think there is another place where you think there is as much opportunity and deeply entrenched activities that you can have with finance. I mean, we've gotten to a place where, things like Leo and this crypto ecosystem in general is, it is most fundamental level. It's playing finance at a very fundamental level and doing things that are incredibly unique, but also very like macroeconomic and microeconomically sound. It's like, the things that you've learned, and I think you guys can probably agree with this. If you think about how you used to envision finance and your understanding of finance in general before you got into crypto, and compare it to how finance now, I think you'll realize that your knowledge of finance from a fundamental and from a high level and from a technical level is far more advanced now than before you got into crypto. And I don't think that that's a coincidence. I think that crypto really gets to the root of finance. So like I said, this has always been, before I even got into crypto, when I was just interested in finance and stocks in general as a kid, this is just the most exciting battlefield for finance. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. I think that if you want to be in finance and you want to be at the cutting edge of what's happening in finance and what's going to happen in the future, digital assets and crypto and tokenization is going to be at the core of everything going forward. So no, I don't really see myself like stepping away from anything. I do envision this DAO at some point, and then I could envision being more of a contractor to the DAO. So the community and the DAO kind of deciding what they want to do next and what they want to fund, and then various proposals getting launched, for DAO funding. So I think I see a future where I would be like putting together proposals for you guys on what to build next, which is kind of how things work now, actually. I mean, if you really look at the direction that we take things, it's like I said, I think about you guys as a community, as stakeholders, as and as customers, and I try to just think about what can I do and what can the team do to make Leo more valuable in your life, and stuff like Leo DEX and the hive aggregation technology and Leo Premium and the features that we add to Leo as a platform. Those are all aimed at making your life better. So I don't really changes when the DAO is live. I think that just means that instead of just going out and doing it, we're actually like putting up a proposal and then talking about it and then getting funding for it, as opposed to just doing it, which is kind of how we're at now. I saw a couple people talking about DAOs and some local examples that they believe have kind of failed in terms of DAOs. And I do think there's a lot of projects that have launched DAOs and have done so unsuccessfully. But I do think that there's a few examples of DAOs that have been successfully launched and projects that have successfully decentralized. And I do think it's possible to build a DAO setup that is fundamentally good for the platform. So when that time comes, and like I said, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 million plus market cap for Leo. I think we can all have a discussion about how to create the best possible DAO, where things are governed in a much better way. I really like the way that Tesla is set up, and I know that Tesla is very far from being a DAO, but there is a interesting setup where, essentially, and if you look into what's happening with Elon Musk and his pay package with Tesla shareholders, I think there's some interesting crossover that could happen if you create a certain type of DAO. So I think the DAO that we create would be unlike what's currently out there, and it would be aimed at how can we build more value for the Leo ecosystem. Like I said, really the idea is how do we make it something bigger than one person or bigger than one team. That is the goal of DAO, and that is essentially not exactly 100x, but maybe like an 80x from the current token price. So I don't know how far away that is. I don't know when that's going to happen, but we've got some time and resources to figure that out. So I'm not worried about creating a DAO that wouldn't work well. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and we do have the drive to make it happen. So I guess the DAO conversation will happen once we cross the real bridge, which is the market cap goals. In the meantime, it's just about building.
Yeah, till then it's just building and not thinking too much about the corporate red tape structures of things, which I think a lot of people let get in their way. Which is why Leo, I think Leo is a unique project in the world of startups and in the world of crypto even, where we don't really ask for permission. We're more of an ask for forgiveness type of setup, where we just kind of build things, and things break, and you guys have an intimate relationship with doing it live and things breaking. But at the end of the day, where can you look for another project that is innovating as fast as we are? I really don't think I projects out there innovating as fast as we are. And I think a big reason for that is that myself and the team, we're not afraid, and the community as well, we're not afraid of breaking things. So breaking things and fixing them and making them better is a core part of what we are and what we do. Taskmaster said, "We have time. Speak for yourself. I'm old. Hurry up." Well, I'm only 26, so I've got a long ahead of me, and I don't really see it. I honestly do not outside of Leo when I think about what I want to be doing. It just doesn't go out of Leo. I obviously have other investments. I invest in other, stocks and cryptos and businesses, but at the end of the day, what I spend my time on, which is 95% of my time, is Leo or Leo adjacent things like Leo DAOs and Inleo and tokenomics and managing the team and developing the technology. That is the most exciting thing that I do with my day. So um, I don't really see outside of it.